I proposed to Emily on a quiet Sunday evening, my hands shaking as I opened the ring box and said, "I don't want a perfect life. I want one with you." She laughed, cried, and said yes. And I believed loyalty was unbreakable. I believed love was enough. "I'll never hurt you," she said that night. "I trust you," I told her, and I meant it. 6 years together had trained me to believe in routines. I was flawed, emotionally, and too trusting, but I was loyal. I worked, I came home, I loved her. Life felt safe, almost boring, and I liked it that way. Valentine's Day was close. Emily had been distant all week, but she smiled and said, "I have a surprise for you." I grinned. "You're terrible at surprises." "You'll see," she replied, avoiding my eyes. That should have bothered me. It didn't. Call that night. "Man, you're lucky," he said. "Engaged life suits you." "You've always said that," I laughed. "That's because I mean it," Daniel replied. You won. Daniel had been my best friend since college. We survived exams, breakups, and bad decisions together. I trusted him like family. "You free Friday?" he asked. "Valentine's Day?" I said, "No chance." He chuckled. "Fair enough." Emily's phone buzzed while we were eating dinner. She glanced at the screen and flipped it face down. "Work?" I asked. "Yeah," she said too fast. "Just work." I nodded and changed the subject. Trust made me generous with excuses. Later that night, I checked my phone and saw 2 missed calls from Daniel. No messages. I texted him, "Everything okay?" No reply. Emily showered longer than usual. I stared at the ceiling and told myself I was overthinking. Love wasn't supposed to feel like fear. The next day, Emily kissed my cheek and said, "Don't plan anything big tomorrow." I smiled. "I already did." She hesitated. "Maybe keep it simple." That pause settled in my chest. "But I swallowed it," Daniel finally replied. "All good, busy." "Cool," I typed back, ignoring the knot in my stomach. That evening, Emily sat beside me on the couch, scrolling silently. "You okay?" I asked. She nodded. "Just tired." "Talk to me," I said. "I will," she replied, standing up. Soon became a word I heard often that week. On Thursday night, I took out the ring to clean it. The diamond caught the light, steady and bright. I remembered how confident I felt when I bought it. "This is forever," I whispered. Emily watched from the doorway. "You didn't have to do that." "I wanted to," I said. "You're worth it," she smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I slipped the ring back into its box and held it in my palm. My life felt intact. My trust felt earned. I didn't know I was holding the last quiet moment before everything broke. Later that night, Daniel knocked on our door. I opened it and smiled. "You look nervous," I joked. "Long day," he said, stepping inside. "You good?" "Better than ever," I replied. Emily joined us. Hey, Daniel said, a little too softly. We talked about nothing. Weather, work, old memories. Remember when we promised never to lie to each other? Daniel asked suddenly. I laughed. "You were drunk?" "Still meant it," he said, glancing at Emily. She cleared her throat. "I'm going to bed." I watched her walk away. "She's been stressed." Daniel nodded. "Relationships change. They don't break," I said. He forced a smile. "Of course." After he left, Emily returned. "What did he want?" "Just checking in," I said. She looked relieved. "Good!" I reached for her hand. She pulled back gently. "Tomorrow," she said. After the surprise, I nodded, holding the ring box again, believing tomorrow would be beautiful. I lay awake, listening to her breathe, and told myself trust meant patience. I told myself love didn't need proof. I closed my eyes, holding the box under my pillow, unaware that this faith would be the last thing I lost. I believed the night was ordinary, calm, and safe. Never guessing it was quietly preparing to destroy everything I thought I knew. Forever. Valentine's. Day morning felt quiet in a way that made my chest tight. I texted Emily, "Happy Valentine's Day. Dinner at 7. Minutes passed before she replied, "Can we skip dinner? Come to my apartment instead." Her message felt cold, stripped of hearts or warmth. I called her. "Did I do something wrong?" "No," she said. "Just come over. Are you okay?" I asked. "I will be," she replied, then hung up. I stood there, staring at my phone. "Okay," I muttered to myself. Simple night. When I reached her apartment, the lights were already on. I knocked, smiling out of habit. The door opened, and my smile froze. Daniel was standing behind her. "Oh," I said. "I didn't know you'd be here." Emily didn't invite me in. "We need to talk." Daniel shifted his weight. "Man, I didn't want you to find out like this." "Find out what?" I asked, stepping inside anyway. Emily closed the door and crossed her arms. "Sit down." "I'd rather stand," I said. My heart was already racing. Daniel sat. He wouldn't look at me. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "Why are you apologizing?" I asked, "What's going on?" Emily exhaled slowly. "I'm pregnant." The room tilted. "What?" "I'm pregnant," she repeated, calm, flat. I laughed once, sharp and confused. "That's not funny. It's not a joke," she said. I looked at Daniel. "Is this some sick surprise?" Daniel stared at the floor. "I didn't plan this." My hand started shaking. "Emily, whose is it?" She didn't hesitate. "Daniel's." I felt something snap inside my chest. "Say that again?" "It's Daniel's," she said. "Please don't yell." Couldn't hear my own breathing. "How long?" "It just happened," she replied. "That's not an answer," I said. "How long have you been sleeping with my best friend?" Daniel finally looked up. "I swear, it wasn't supposed to don't," I said. "Don't talk." Emily spoke instead. "It started a few months ago." "Few months," I repeated. "While you wore my ring." She nodded. "I didn't plan to hurt you." I laughed again, broken. "You planned something." Daniel stood up. "I know I'm a terrible person. You're my brother," I said. "Or you were." "I never wanted this," he said. "You wanted her?" I replied. Emily rubbed her temples. "This isn't helping." Stared at her. "You're pregnant by him," she said. "And I'm keeping it." I swallowed hard. "And me." She looked away. "I didn't mean for it to end like this." "End," I echoed. "You already ended it." Daniel stepped back. "I'll leave if you want," no, Emily said quickly. "Stay." That word hurt more than the truth. I asked quietly, "Did you ever love me?" She hesitated. "I cared about you." I nodded slowly. "That's your answer." Emily straightened her shoulders. "I need you to be mature about this." Those words hit harder than any insult. "Mature?" "Yes," she said. "Screaming won't change anything." I laughed, breathless. "You betrayed me with him? And you want maturity?" Daniel whispered, "Please don't make this worse." I turned to him. "You already did." Gosh. Emily crossed her arms again. "We didn't plan for feelings. We planned lies," I said. She sighed. "I hoped you'd understand." "Understand what?" I asked. "That you replaced me?" She looked at me directly. "I chose what felt right. Step back. Dizzy. Then you chose the end." Daniel opened his mouth. "I'll always regret this." "Live with it," I said. Emily's voice hardened. "I need peace right now." I nodded, hollow. "So do I." I walked to the door, my legs barely holding me. Before I left, she said softly, "Please be mature about this." I paused, my hand on the handle, feeling my world collapse in silence. I stayed after they told me, even though every instinct screamed to run. Emily sat across from me like she was waiting for a bus, calm and distant. Daniel stood near the window, hands shaking. "How long?" I asked again. "I deserve at least that," Emily said. 6 months. I laughed softly. "Half a year." "While I planned a wedding," she replied. "It wasn't constant." "That's supposed to help?" I said. Daniel stepped forward. "I swear it started small." I turned to him. "You don't get to explain." Emily crossed her legs. He was there when you weren't. Worked, I said. For us. He listened, she said. You were tired all the time, so you slept with him, I said. She didn't deny it. I needed someone. I leaned forward. I was your someone. Daniel whispered. I never meant to replace you. You did, I said. Slowly, Emily sighed. Please don't make this harder. I felt my voice crack. Harder than this? She looked annoyed. Yelling won't change the past?
Right.
I stood up. You changed it, Daniel said. Try to understand how it felt. I laughed sharply. You want empathy? I lost control, he said. You chose, I replied. Emily rubbed her stomach. This isn't about you anymore. That sentence emptied me. Everything was about us, she said. Now it's about peace.
Oh.
I repeated, yes, she said. Staying friends. For peace. I stared at her. You want friendship after betrayal? Daniel nodded. It would make things easier. For who? I asked. For everyone, Emily said. I shook my head. You're asking me to disappear quietly? She replied. I'm asking you to be mature. That word burned again. Mature means accepting pain? It means not destroying things, she said. You already did, I shouted. Daniel flinched. Please don't scream. I felt tears rising. You slept with my fiancée, he said. I hated myself for it. Then why continue? I asked. Emily answered, because I felt alive. I stared at her. Was I ever enough? She paused. You were safe. That hurt worse than hate. Safe isn't love? She said nothing. I remembered Daniel borrowing my car, Emily laughing at his jokes, late texts she hid. All those moments lined up cruelly. I trusted you both, I said quietly. Daniel whispered. I know, Emily said. We didn't plan for this. You planned secrecy, I replied. She stood. I won't apologize for choosing myself, I added. I nodded slowly. Then choose life without me. Daniel said, don't disappear. I have to, I replied. Emily scoffed. Running won't fix you. Staying will break me, I said. I walked out without another word. The hallway felt endless. I reached my car and sat there shaking. My phone buzzed. Sarah's name lit the screen. Hey, she said gently. You sound off. I lost everything, I said. She replied, come home. Can't, I said. Not yet. Did she hurt you? Sarah asked. Yes, I whispered. Then don't protect them, she said. Protect yourself. I hung up and stared through the windshield. Love was gone. Friendship was gone. Silence was all I had left. I started the engine and made a decision. I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't beg. I wouldn't stay visible. I would disappear, not to punish them, but to survive. I didn't answer my phone for 3 days. It kept buzzing beside me like something alive. I stared at the ceiling and said nothing. Work emails piled up. Messages from Emily stayed unread. Daniel called once. I let it ring until it stopped. There was a knock on my door. Open up, Sarah said. I know you're in there. I'm fine, I lied. Open the door or I'm calling the landlord, she said. I dragged myself up and opened it. She looked at me and froze. You look like hell. Nice to see you too, I muttered. She stepped inside. Have you eaten? I don't remember. She crossed her arms. Sit. I don't want to lecture. You're getting one, she said. I dropped onto the couch. They ruined everything, she replied. They hurt you. That's not the same thing. It feels the same, I said. She leaned forward. Have you slept? Does it matter? I asked. It does, she said. You're disappearing. I laughed weakly. Isn't that what everyone wanted? Who told you that? She asked. Emily, I said. Daniel. Silence. Sarah shook her head. Silence is not maturity. It's surrender. I looked away. I don't have energy to fight. I'm not asking you to fight, she said. I'm asking you to stay alive. That word scared me. I'm not planning anything. You don't have to, she said. Neglect works too. I swallowed. I feel worthless. She didn't rush to deny it. Why? Because I wasn't enough, I said. She chose him. She chose badly, Sarah replied. I trusted them, I said. That makes me stupid. No, she said. That makes you human. I rubbed my face. I don't want to wake up, she said softly, but you did. Barely, I replied. She sat beside me. Listen to me. You don't owe them peace. They asked me to be mature, I said bitterly. Sarah scoffed. Mature doesn't mean quiet suffering. It feels like losing, I said. It feels like pain, she corrected. Losing is staying. I stared at the floor. I don't know who I am without them. You're my brother, she said. You're someone who survived today. Felt tears finally fall. I hate that I still love her. That will pass, Sarah said. If you let it, how? I asked. By choosing yourself, she replied. I shook my head. I don't know how. She stood. Then start small. She grabbed my phone. Who do you need to stop hearing from? I hesitated. Both of them. She handed it back. Then do it. My hands shook as I opened the messages. Emily's unread texts stared back. Daniel's apology sat below. I felt sick. I can't, I whispered. You can, Sarah said. I'll sit here. I deleted Emily's thread. My chest tightened. Again, she said. I deleted Daniel's number. My breath caught. That hurt, I said. She nodded. Healing usually does. I sat there, shaking. What now? Tomorrow, she said. You call a therapist. I don't need one, I argued. You do, she said calmly. I exhaled. Okay? She smiled slightly. See? Still alive? After she left, the apartment felt quiet, but not empty. I lay back and stared at the ceiling again. This time, I wasn't waiting to disappear. I wasn't planning revenge. I wasn't strong yet, but I was breathing. I was choosing not to die. And for the first time since Valentine's Day, that choice felt like control. Months passed and I kept my head down. I didn't answer Emily's messages. Daniel's calls went straight to voicemail. Work became my refuge. Hey, you're back early, Mark said one afternoon. Leaning against my cubicle? Yeah, I muttered. You look better, he added cautiously. I laughed. Better at losing? No, I mean, steady, he said. You've been through a lot, man. You're holding it together, I shrugged. I don't feel together. You don't have to feel it, he replied. Just show up, I nodded, not trusting my voice. He smiled, encouraging. Small steps. I started talking more with Mark during lunch. How's your project going? I asked one day. Painful, he laughed. But it's progress. I offered a smile. I know that feeling. You're coming back, he said. I see it. I felt a flicker of hope. For the first time in months, I didn't feel completely hollow. Weeks later, I walked past a cafe and saw Emily inside with Daniel. They looked tense. She was gesturing, frustrated. Daniel kept his hands in his pockets, staring at the floor. I stopped. My chest tightened. They didn't notice me. I turned away silently, a small smile forming despite the knot in my stomach. Back at home, I checked social media. Emily had posted a picture Daniel's arm around her, but the caption read, Tough day. Needed each other. I scrolled further. Comments argued about money, responsibilities, fights spilling into public view. I sat back. Interesting, I muttered. Mark noticed the change. You've been quieter today. I'm observing, I said. He frowned. Something about that word. I laughed softly. It's satisfying. Observing what? He asked, people facing the consequences of their choices, I said. He tilted his head. Careful, man. That sounds dark. I know, I admitted. Feels good, though. But it's not joy. More. Relief, Mark nodded. Relief is valid. I started rebuilding slowly. I focused on presentations, volunteering for meetings, improving reports. Each small success was mine alone, unseen by Emily or Daniel. I didn't announce it. I didn't brag. I just collected tiny victories quietly. Sometimes at night, I remembered their faces, the way Emily asked me to be mature, the way Daniel avoided my eyes. I felt a pang of guilt. I shouldn't feel satisfied. Yet I couldn't stop it. Karma had a patient hand. One morning, Mark leaned over my desk. "You're glowing," he said. "Hardly," I replied. "Yeah, but you're you again," he said. I didn't answer immediately. Maybe he was right. Months of silence, months of focus were reshaping me. I remembered Sarah's words, "Protect yourself first." I had listened, and now I had a strange sense of control. One evening, my phone buzzed. I hesitated. The number wasn't saved. Emily, after months. I stared at it. "Can we talk?" I set the phone down. My fingers hovered over it. My heart raced. But my mind was clearer than it had been in months. Mark's voice echoed from last week. "You decide what's worth your energy." I typed nothing. I didn't call back. I didn't respond. Instead, I leaned back in my chair, exhaled, and felt the first real weight lift off my chest. The power had shifted, subtly, silently. I didn't touch them. I didn't manipulate. I simply survived. And in survival, there was strength. I smiled faintly. I was alive. I was present. And for the first time, I understood. Revenge doesn't always need action. Karma, I realized, was patient. And so was I, Emil-wise. Text came one evening. "Can we meet?" I need to explain. I stared at my phone for a long time. Curiosity, not hope, made me reply. "Where?" "A small cafe downtown. I arrived early." She was already there, sitting stiffly, hands wrapped around a mug. Her eyes were red. She looked tired, afraid. "Hey," she said softly. "Hi," I replied, taking a seat opposite her. She avoided my eyes. "Thank you for coming." "For what?" I asked. "For listening," she whispered. I nodded. Silence settled between us. Finally, she spoke. "Daniel, he cheated on me." "Excuse me?" "He did," she said. "Not once. Several times. I lost control, I guess." I didn't respond immediately. I studied her carefully. She looked smaller somehow, broken in a way I hadn't expected. "I know I destroyed everything," she said, tears welling up. "I lost my family's trust, my friends, even myself." I held up a hand. "Emily, yes," she asked, trembling. "You don't get to unload your pain expecting relief from me." She flinched slightly, but didn't pull away. I want to say I'm sorry." Lean back, calm. "You are." She cried then, quietly, hands gripping her mug. "I lost everything. I lost you. I lost him. I lost myself. I never thought it would end like this." "I can see that," I said evenly. I thought, "Maybe we could start over," she whispered, voice cracking. I shook my head. "No, Emily. That bridge burned a long time ago." Her shoulders slumped. "Even after all this? You're not angry?" "Anger is easy," I said. "I've learned restraint. I don't need to yell. I don't need to insult you. That would be meaningless." Her lips trembled. I thought if I apologized, things could go back. "They can't," I said. "Not ever. But that's not just about you. It's about me too. I've grown. I'm not the man who begged or broke down." She swallowed. "I don't know what to say." "Then say nothing," I replied. Her eyes filled again. You've changed." "I had to," I said softly. "Survival requires it." She shook her head, voice low. "I don't deserve your calm." "Maybe not," I said. "But that's irrelevant now." We sat in silence, broken only by the faint hum of the cafe. I realized how different I was. I could listen, I could empathize, but I wasn't trapped. I wasn't at her mercy anymore. She leaned forward. "I made so many mistakes. Daniel, you, me. I don't know how I survived my own lies." "You survived by facing them," I said. "I survived by leaving." Her hands covered her face. I ruined everything. Emily, I interrupted gently. You don't get a reset. You never will. Her shoulders shook with silent sobs. I didn't flinch. I didn't soften. My calm, my restraint, it cut deeper than any yell, I hoped. Maybe, she whispered through tears. I shook my head again. No, that's done. She looked up at me, desperate, broken. You don't hate me? I don't need to, I said. Hate is wasted energy. I've moved on. You'll have to do the same. She stared at me, eyes wide. I could see the realization settle in. She had no control over me anymore. Not through tears, not through apologies, not through regret. I'm sorry, she said again. Softer this time, almost a whisper. I know, I replied. I stood, gathering my coat. She didn't move. Her hands trembled. I said quietly, Take care of yourself, Emily. I can't fix this, she murmured. No, you can't, I said. I walked out of the cafe into the cold evening air. My steps were steady. My chest felt lighter, even though the memory of her face burned in my mind. I realized something as I moved through the streets. I had already won. Not through vengeance, not through manipulation, but through surviving intact while she crumbled under her choices. The night was quiet, the air sharp, and for the first time in months, I felt entirely in control of my life, my emotions, and my future. I didn't look back. I didn't even think to check if she was watching. I had nothing to prove, no bridges to burn, no need for closure from her. I simply walked forward, free. I was leaving work when I saw him, Daniel, leaning against the building, arms crossed, jaw tight. My chest tightened, but I didn't stop walking. Hey, he called out. I slowed but didn't smile. Daniel stepped closer, voice low, sharp. You think you can just disappear and live happily? Do you know what you did to me? I know exactly what happened, I said calmly. His face twisted. Emily left me because of you. You took her from me. I shook my head slowly. No, Daniel. You did that yourself? What? He shouted. Me? You chose betrayal? I interrupted. You cheated? You lied? You weren't her support? You were her weakness. His eyes narrowed. Oh, you don't understand. I understand perfectly, I said evenly. You made your choices. I didn't push you. I didn't trap you. You destroyed your own life. He laughed bitterly. You think you're so clever? Sitting there all calm while You want to blame me for your failures? I asked. Fine, I accept nothing. I am not the cause of your misery. You are. He stepped closer, anger boiling over. She told me you were happy without me. You're taunting me. I met his gaze. I'm not taunting, I'm breathing. You're collapsing under your own decisions. That's the difference. He shook his head. I don't get it. I worked hard. I had friends, and you lost them, I said. Silently, without me touching them. Your reputation, your so-called life, crumbling, one careless act at a time. Karma doesn't need me. You handed it yourself. He looked at me, mouth open, disbelief and rage warring on his face. I warned you, I continued. I trusted you. I called you my brother. But you betrayed that. You betrayed Emily. You betrayed yourself. And now you watch as everything unravels. Daniel's hands clenched into fists. You're gloating, I'm observing, I corrected him. Not gloating. I feel closure. Nothing more. He spun, pacing. People are leaving me. My friends. My family, they all see what a mess I am. This is your fault. I stepped back, calm. No, this is all you. Every lie, every deception, every selfish act, you built this prison of your own making. I just walked away. His breathing was rapid, shallow. I can't fix it. You can try, I said quietly. But understand this, the walls are yours. I am no longer part of it. He shook his head, staring at the ground. I didn't think it would end like this. Didn't think, I echoed. Daniel, that's what happens when you betray people you claim to love. That's what happens when you place your desires above trust, above loyalty. He laughed, bitter, unsteady. And you're You're fine. You're fine. I survived, I said. I moved forward. You destroyed yourself without me lifting a finger. His face twisted in disbelief. How? How can you be calm? Because I am not entangled in your chaos anymore, I said. I don't carry your weight. I don't absorb your mistakes. You do? Alone. He sank onto the curb, burying his face in his hands. The realization hit him in waves. His friends were already pulling away. His boss had called him in earlier that week for repeated mistakes, a sign of his distraction. His social media was flooded with arguments he couldn't control. I watched him for a moment. No joy, only closure. Silent karma had done what I never could. It reminded him of his choices, piece by piece. Do you see it now? I asked softly. He lifted his head, eyes glassy. I ruined everything. Yes, I said. Exactly. Everything you touched crumbled because you refused integrity. You handed the consequences to yourself. He shook his head, sobbing quietly now. I thought I could handle it. Handle what? I asked. Your lies? Your betrayal? He didn't answer. He only sat there, broken by the life he had built and destroyed with his own hands. I turned to leave. My steps were steady, unshaken. I didn't look back. I didn't feel anger. I didn't even feel satisfaction. Only closure. Daniel remained on the curb, silent, watching as the world he knew receded. I had no need to engage further. Karma had introduced itself. As I walked down the street, the evening air crisp against my face, I realized I had been free long before this confrontation. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need to intervene. I simply existed, steady, growing, alive. Daniel's fall was his alone, and in that I found peace. I walked along the park path, autumn leaves crunching under my shoes. The crisp air cleared my mind. I paused near a bench where someone was reading a book. "Excuse me?" I said softly. "Is this seat taken?" She looked up, smiled politely. "No, go ahead." I sat, adjusting my jacket. She returned to her book, but glanced at me occasionally. After a minute, she spoke. "What are you reading?" "Just a novel," I said. "Fiction. Something light." She tilted her head. "I like light. Heavy stuff makes me anxious." "Same here," I replied. "I've learned to avoid unnecessary stress." She laughed quietly. "Good strategy." I smiled, feeling a warmth I hadn't recognized in a long time. "I'm Alex," I said. "Lena," she replied, offering a hand. We shook hands, a simple gesture. No pressure, no expectation, I realized. How much I had missed that human connection without manipulation or past baggage. "So, what brings you here today?" I asked. "Just enjoying the afternoon, trying to get outside more," she said. "You?" "Same," I replied. "Fresh air, thinking, breathing." She laughed. "Sounds peaceful." "It is," I said, feeling it in my chest. "I've learned a lot about peace recently." Her gaze softened. "Care to share?" I considered it. "I've learned I can survive betrayal. I can rebuild without dragging anyone down. And I've realized silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's strength." She nodded. "I get that. I've had my share of messy experiences too." I smiled faintly. "It's reassuring to meet someone who understands boundaries." "Boundaries are everything," she said. "Without them, people lose themselves." I felt an unusual calm. Exactly, I lost a lot once. But I found myself again. It's freeing. "Sounds like you've grown," she said, genuine curiosity in her voice. "I have," I admitted. "I've learned to forgive not for others, but for myself. Holding on to pain only traps you." She closed her book. Wise words. So few people actually live like that. I looked at her, feeling a flicker of hope. I think most of us try, but it takes practice, experience, and sometimes suffering. She nodded. "Suffering teaches, but it shouldn't define you." "Exactly," I said. "I've spent years defined by betrayal. Now I define myself by growth, choice, and resilience." Her eyes lit up. "That's powerful. Like that perspective." I exhaled, feeling lighter. "Thank you. Never thought I'd feel this calm again, this grounded." "You deserve it," she said. Everyone deserves a second chance at life. We sat in comfortable silence, the park sounds blending around us. I noticed the sun setting, a gentle orange light across the trees. I felt no past pain pressing in, no need for revenge, no lingering bitterness. Only presence. You know, she said softly, I feel safe talking to you. Like I don't need to guard myself. I smiled. That's how it should be. Safe, uncomplicated, honest. She tilted her head. Is that rare for you? Extremely, I admitted. I spent years entangled in chaos and betrayal. This is new for me. I'm glad you found it, she said. And I'm glad you let yourself experience it again, I nodded. Me too. I've learned pain shapes you, but it doesn't have to own you. She smiled warmly. Exactly. I realized in that moment how far I had come. I was stronger, calmer, and aware of my emotions. I could face life, new people, and new connections without fear of repeating old mistakes. Would you like to walk? I asked. I'd like that, she replied as we strolled down the path. Conversation flowing naturally, I felt no need to rush, to impress, or to guard. The past was behind me. The future was open. I glanced at Lena, her expression thoughtful, serene. I think, this is what moving on feels like, I said quietly. Yes, she said. Light, freedom, choice. I smiled, a deep, honest smile. It feels good to be the man I am without them. Strong enough to forgive, calm enough to feel, open enough to connect. She glanced at me, understanding, and that man is worth knowing. Yes, I agreed, and he's mine to be. We continued walking, leaves swirling at our feet, sunlight fading gently. I realized I had finally shed the weight of betrayal, anger, and regret. Pain had shaped me, yes, but it no longer owned me. I inhaled the crisp air, feeling alive, free, and fully present. For the first time, love felt safe again. I sat on the balcony, the city lights flickering below, and took a deep breath. My phone buzzed briefly, a notification from months ago finally fading into irrelevance. I smiled faintly. Sarah's voice echoed in my memory. Maturity isn't silence. It's self-respect. I whispered it to myself, letting the words settle. Self-respect, I said. Not revenge. Not begging. Not collapse, Mark called that evening. Hey, you okay? Better than okay, I replied. I've learned a lot, Goody said. You seem lighter. I am, I admitted. It's strange. Losing people, losing love, losing friendship. I thought it would destroy me. Instead, it reshaped me. You deserve that, he said. I do, I answered. And I deserve to walk away from what poisoned me. No calls, no messages, no lingering expectations. Just me. Silence followed. Not awkward, just comfortable. You're happy, he said finally. I am, I said softly. Happier than I was in years. Free. Emily and Daniel exist now only as shadows. Memories, yes, but powerless. No rage, no longing, no obsession. I had stepped beyond their influence. I remembered the last time Emily looked at me, pleading. I didn't yell. I didn't insult. I walked away. That was my victory. Not loud, not dramatic, but absolute. Daniel's fall had been silent. He destroyed his own life. I didn't celebrate. I didn't interfere. I only watched, calm and untangled, as karma completed its course. I exhaled, letting the past release me fully. All that weight, I murmured. Gone. Mark's voice came again. You sound peaceful. I am, I said. And I understand now. Maturity isn't bending, isn't enduring betrayal silently. It's choosing yourself when others fail to respect you. It's leaving when staying harms your soul. You make it sound simple, he said. It's not simple, I replied. But it's necessary. I've realized that silence, submission, pretending it's surrender, not strength. Walking away, protecting myself, defining my boundaries, that's strength. That's maturity. There was a pause. Then Mark said quietly, I'm proud of you. Said, really? I thought of Lena, her laughter, the gentle honesty in her eyes. Love could exist again, healthy, safe, respectful. I didn't cling to it. I didn't demand it. I simply welcomed it. That was a luxury I hadn't allowed myself for years. I stared at the city below. Lights reflected like tiny stars in the river. Everything I lost, I whispered. Love, trust, friendship. It taught me everything I needed to survive. I smiled faintly, recalling every betrayal, every heartbreak, every silent night alone. Each one had shaped me, but none of them controlled me, Mark said. Sounds like karma gave you a gift, not revenge. Exactly, I said. Karma doesn't need my interference. Sometimes the best revenge is becoming unreachable, untouchable, free. I thought of Emily and Daniel, fading images now. Their lives continuing without me. I didn't wish them harm. I didn't dwell on anger. Their choices, their pain, were theirs to carry. I had carried mine. Now mine was light. You've changed, Mark said. You're different. Stronger. Yes, I said quietly. Different, stronger, wiser, and I'll remain so. For me, first. Always for me. I closed my eyes, letting the wind brush my face. The night was calm, quiet. I didn't look back. The past was behind me, the future open and unclaimed. I whispered one last truth to myself. Maturity was never staying. Maturity was walking away, protecting my heart, respecting my soul, becoming someone they could no longer touch. Mark chuckled softly. Philosophical tonight. I've earned it, I said, and I will keep earning it every day. The city pulsed below, indifferent, beautiful, alive. I stepped inside, leaving the balcony empty. The past stayed behind, powerless. The present was mine. No calls, no texts, no expectations. Only me, only growth, only freedom. I smiled one last time, finally at peace.